It's a crisp January evening in 2026, and Attorney General Pam Bondi steps onto the Fox News set, ready to defend the Trump administration's iron grip on justice. But what starts as a routine interview spirals into a raw, unfiltered meltdown, a moment that exposes the cracks in America's Department of Justice. Over 3,000 lawyers have walked out the door since Bondi took charge, and now the dam is breaking. To understand the meltdown, we have to go back to the start. When Donald Trump reclaimed the White House in 2025, he promised to drain the swamp deeper than ever. Enter Pam Bondi, his pick for Attorney General, a fierce loyalist from Florida with a history of defending Trump during his first impeachment. She hit the ground running, vowing to root out what the administration called deep state holdovers. But almost immediately, the purge began. In the first months, over 200 career lawyers were fired outright, many tied to past investigations like those into January 6th or Trump's classified documents case. Critics called it a witch hunt, supporters a necessary cleanse. By mid-2025, the Civil Rights Division was gutted, nearly 70% of its staff gone, protesting shifts away from protecting voting rights toward enforcing strict immigration policies. Fast forward to November 2025, reports emerge of a toxic environment at DOJ headquarters. Farewell emails leak, painting a picture of morale in freefall. Lawyers describe being pressured to drop cases against allies or ramp up probes into political foes. Think Democrats linked to the Epstein files. The tally, nearly 5,500 total departures, including around 3,000 lawyers by early 2026. These aren't just numbers. They're seasoned prosecutors walking away from lifetimes of service, citing irreversible damage to the agency's independence. And the spark that lit the fuse, the tragic ICE shooting in Minneapolis. On January 3rd, agents fatally shot Renee Good, a 37-year-old U.S. citizen mistaken for an undocumented immigrant during a raid. Protests erupted, and in Minnesota, 6 top federal prosecutors resigned in unison, blasting what they called politicized interference from D.C. This wasn't isolated. It was the tipping point in a year of simmering discontent. Now enter January 15th, 2026, the day it all boiled over. Bondi appears on Fox News ostensibly to discuss immigration enforcement and the Venezuelan ops. But the host pivots to the Minnesota resignations, and that's when the facade cracks. In the viral clip, which has racked up millions of views on YouTube and X, Bondi calls the quits horrific, her voice cracking with what sources describe as a mix of frustration and humiliation. She rails against the disloyal staff, insisting they're sabotaging Trump's agenda. But it's more than words. Her face tells the story, flushed, eyes darting, hands gesturing wildly. Commentators from MSNBC to independent pods label it a complete breakdown, a rare glimpse of vulnerability from a typically polished operator. Why the intensity? Insiders say Trump himself has been breathing down her neck. Reports from the New York Times and Politico reveal he's repeatedly complained that Bondi's weak, not aggressive enough in pursuing his enemies or shielding his allies. Remember, this is the same Trump who fired FBI directors and attorneys general in his first term. With midterms looming and approval ratings dipping to 36%, the pressure is immense. The fallout immediate and brutal. Social media explodes with DOJ meltdown trending worldwide. Anti-Trump outlets like Midas Touch amplify the clip, dubbing it Bondi's epic fail. Even some conservatives whisper doubts. Is the DOJ too broken to fix? Democrats in Congress demand hearings, arguing this proves the department's become a political weapon. And the resignations, they haven't stopped. Just yesterday, more leaks suggest another wave in the antitrust division, frustrated with lax enforcement on big tech allies. But let's zoom out. This isn't just about Bondi. It's a symptom of Trump 2.0's broader strategy. From suspending visas for 75 countries to invoking the Insurrection Act threats in Minneapolis, the administration's pushing boundaries. Eurasia Group's risk reports flag U.S. political instability as the top global threat, and this DOJ saga is Exhibit A. So where does this leave us? The DOJ, once a pillar of impartial justice, now resembles a revolving door. Over 3,000 lawyers gone means cases delayed, expertise lost, and a brain drain that could take years to reverse. For everyday Americans, it translates to slower prosecutions on everything from fentanyl rings to civil rights violations. Trump's base sees it as victory, purging the swamp creatures. But polls tell a different story. A CNN survey shows most view his first year as a failure, with justice reform low on the approval list. Bondi, her future's shaky. Whispers in Washington suggest Trump might replace her with someone tougher, like a Matt Gaetz type. Looking ahead, this could fuel midterm fireworks. Democrats are rallying around oversight bills, while Republicans defend it as necessary reform. Internationally, allies eye the U.S. warily. If the DOJ's in chaos, what about foreign policy commitments? One thing's clear, this meltdown isn't just a blip. It's a chapter in the ongoing saga of America's divided soul. Will it lead to real change or more division? Only time will tell. What do you think? Is Bondi's meltdown a sign of deeper troubles or just media hype?